Yeah, we don't give a fuck. No Invite Podcast. We back. Episode 46, season 2, The Level Up. And we in the building right now. And I'm me. Y'all already know who I am. And we got...
Me. That guy right here, right now.
Is the guy, man. Whenever you guys say... Whatever, you know what I mean? Whenever somebody says that they got somebody that could do this or do that. And that's the guy. I got a guy. You know what I'm saying? That's the guy. That's who they talking about. Is the guy. Only if it's a good thing, though.
Yeah. For the most part, I try to use my powers for good.
Exactly. Don't get him associated with the other guy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not a bad guy.
He's just the guy. But what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. Had a nice weekend. Got to the movies.
Yeah. Did you go to the movies or did you like...
For sake of podcast reasons, I'd rather not say how I did it with my fire stick I got from somebody or other. But either way, got to go see the movie. Saw Suicide Squad. Loved it. A lot funnier than the last one. I'd say, made me laugh on some Marvel status. Got some arrival right there with that one. So that's my shout out to the movie right there.
Hey, you know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. For those that don't know, I'm a real big like Marvel head. I fuck with all the all the movies that they put out, the whole Marvel Universe shit, and even then, because I grew up reading comic books and shit, right? So I'm all for that. And for those of y'all that don't know, listening, is like Marvel's been really kicking DC, which is like Batman and fucking Robin and all those characters. That's them, Superman. And Marvel is like, the X-Men, the Avengers, Spider-Man and shit, like the Hulk. So that's the difference, right? I'm just giving a quick breakdown, you dig? But being that though, I follow them and I like it a lot. And it's been a known thing for a while that DC really hasn't had as strong as a run as Marvel. Yeah. They're the Marvel's like, what I'm saying, they're the fresh face. They're the, I'm saying, they're the talk of the town. You dig what I'm saying? And DC, they've had, don't get me wrong, they've had good movies like
growing up in the 80s. I mean, we grew up with the Superman movie where you had Christopher Reeves, and that's your first taste. Then all of a sudden, a few years later, a Batman movie comes out. So we grew up in that era. That's our first taste of the movies. And the comics becoming real.
Yeah.
But then Marvel came through and kicked the crap out of them in the 2000s.
Marvel came through, yeah.
Well, I mean, they tried doing a little bit like with the X-Men with Fox, but then the MCU is like becoming something ginormous. And evidently, DC's trying to, Warner Brothers, they want to get a little piece of that pie too. Like, hold on, we own some of that too. Let's get that back.
Well, it's like a new comic renaissance because let's keep it real. They're running out of shit to do. They're remaking remakes now of movies that were like from the 80s and 90s. And,
all these storylines have already been, some of these are like almost 3 decades old.
Yeah, so to me, it's like they were running out of stuff. So the comic books to me was a no-brainer, and I wondered why they didn't make them earlier. But it's that reason, like you said, we grew up in the 80s. Let's think about it, man. This motherfucking Superman movie in the 80s, it was the shit back then. But when you look at it now, you're like, damn, like that shit look mania.
How do we look at it if all of a sudden, our what we know is to be X-Men look like Clash of the Titans, where some claymation little beast, he's all like looking ridiculous, we wouldn't take it seriously. We'd laugh it off. So the time wasn't right for it,
Nah, that's why I'm so into him now, because the comic books were always dope art. You feel me? But now, you ready? Let's take this shot real quick. While we bullshit, we're gonna take a shot for the motherfucking episode 46.
That's
Cheers.
Right. Kick it off.
Hell yeah. Okay. Tequila, y'all, just in case y'all didn't know. But I fuck with it. So you watched the new Suicide Squad by any means necessary. You know what I mean? We're not gonna say how it happened. It just happened. And just know that it was worth it, though, right?
Oh, yeah. It was worth every penny I paid, prior or not.
It was worth every single streaming dollar that you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let's put it away. It's good enough to where if there wasn't so much gratuitous, groinal, lookage, I probably would let the kids watch it, too.
You know what? I just watched The Watchmen over again after a while, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Like, DC... I don't know what it is. I don't know what your fascination is, but you know what I'm saying? Like, your movies are cool until you do that. Like, that's just unnecessary. That's like putting an unnecessary song at the wrong moment in the fucking movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's come on.
And despite that, I'm hardly promoting this movie big time. Like I'd go see it again. I'd go to the theaters and go watch it, drive through or whatever.
Yeah.
So Yeah, it's one of those where it's like, I must share that with the world. Go ahead and go watch that. If
It's one of those things, it's like the prison shower, you know what I'm saying? Keep your fucking eyes above fucking shoulder level and you're going to be all right when it comes to this shit, you know what I'm saying? You just got to keep it moving. And if we catch you looking, I'm going to punch you in your face. Not because of any other reason than just because.
Just like, you know, like, hey, on the way to Disneyland, there happens to be someone with a blown out tire on the side of the road. You stare, you watch them their agony, you move along, right? You know there's better things ahead.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And just keep it moving.
Yeah.
But anyway, shout out, I guess, DC for stepping their game up, because it sounds like, I mean, I haven't watched the movie yet, but if you say it, I trust your judgment, especially when it comes to stuff like that, because you are somebody that knows about it. You grew up, you know, same thing. Like we was
shout out to Uncle Carlos's comic collection in Grandma's hallway.
You know what I mean? I think that's where I got it from too. I ain't gonna lie. I think I got it from Unks, because he always had them, bro. And I bet you if we had those motherfuckers right now, all the ones he had and shit, them shits would probably be worth hella money right now.
I don't know, but that's where I first saw the whole WandaVision thing, where I saw her try to kiss the White Vision, and he was like, "Get off me!" I was like, "What the heck?" Like,
yeah. No, yeah, a lot of storylines that are there barely, and it's kind of crazy because like we've seen that shit, you know, obviously through comic books, but now they're actually making it into movies and making it a thing. You feel what I'm saying? So, I think that's dope. I'm glad because at least my child gets to experience a higher caliber, you know what I mean, character and movie and shit than we did, because there was. Yeah, like I said, we look back at it now. Them was the shit when we was younger, but man, they needed some work for real. Like, it's a trip, but that's dope. I'm glad that shit's good. Everything's good on this end. You know what I mean? We just keeping it moving, just gearing up for all the things that we got going on. So my week has been cool. It's been a little stressful, but I mean that's just how it goes. It's like, I said something on one of my brothers' songs and shit, because we're gonna go do the whole show thing. I'll announce that shit later on in the show, but we got a show date out there, and I said something like, "Too much on my plate, how can I complain?" You know what I'm saying? Came up, what I say? Came up with roaches in the kitchen like an ashtray. You feel something like that? I forgot what it was. But the too much on my plate, how can I complain? I can't really complain. It's been stressful, but you know what? Sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes it's like that. You know what I mean? And you have to, if you want to be doing the things that I'm doing, then you have to embrace that just as much as you embrace the wins.
Yeah.
The work ethic and everything else and the strenuous hours and stuff. You gotta. We were just talking about that on the phone. I was talking to my brother and we were just addressing something similar to that. It's like we asked for this, and until we get to the point where somebody else is doing it for us, we gotta do everything.
Yeah.
And that's word to everybody out there that's doing whatever it is. You're a chef, you're a fucking small business owner, entrepreneur, aspiring artist, you know what I'm saying, whatever your fucking your shit is, you know, you're gonna have to embrace the hard work and the stress of it all as much as you embrace the wins. And you know, because everything is for the gram nowadays. It's like everybody shows just the wins. It's like, to me, I find the most interesting things from people is not the wins, but the process. You know, I watch a lot of documentaries and I like watching movies that are from fucking, what's it called? Like, you know, like real life, based in real life, you know, especially the come up.
Behind the scenes, you know.
Exactly.
How they got what the journey was to get to this end result, whether it be a show or whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
because we all know you from those big moments. We get it already. That's how you arrived to us. But what did it take to get to that point? And like even my you know, my business partner and my good friend Akashish, we were just talking about this stuff. Shout out to her. We were just talking about the same shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's a topic that we'll bring up later in the here and now. And whatnot. It might be the main topic, actually. We still working it out, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is very much something that's evolving as we go. But we here for the moment. No Invite season 2. We got the guy in the building. It's the guy, man. I mean, what else do you need to know? Yes. And I think it's about time for the here and now. So cue the motherfucking sound effects and all that shit that we do. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna say we, but it's really me. You dig? So look, you know, for the most part, look, we're gonna start off with the bullshit, okay? It's the here and now. We're gonna start off with the bullshit, and we're gonna try to end on a high note, because I already know that all y'all people out there, you guys deal with this shit every day. And there's so much negativity already out there for the people. You feel what I'm saying? So we don't want to be a platform where we're just coming at you with the negative shit. We want to give you our perspective on things, of course. But if you really want, you know, I mean, there's more than enough negativity and more than enough bullshit out there for you to indulge in if that's what you really want.
Yeah.
So at the No Invite, we try to give y'all a little bit of balance. We are paying attention and we are aware of what's going on around us. So if you ask me about Afghanistan, if you ask me about this and other political issues, I have my stance on it. But right now, we try to give you a little bit of everything so that we could not only make it good for you, but make it just let it be known we're just not mindless. You know what I'm saying? We're not totally unaware of what's going on around us. You dig what I'm saying?
We know the world's on fire pretty much right now.
You know, like it's like that meme, everything's okay, and it's that dog, the whole house is burning around, and it's the cartoon dog's like, I'm fine.
It's Les Nielsen and the nigga gonna talk about, there's nothing to see here, it's all right. Meanwhile, things are just blowing up behind us.
Exactly.
You know?
So look, we're living in the same world as y'all are out there, and we are very much aware. So it don't matter if it's America, Europe, anywhere in the hemisphere, you know what I'm saying? We are living this like you are, so we try to give you a little bit of everything. So we're going to kick it off with the bullshit, though, like I said, because we have to address it. And this is something that I want you guys to understand, because this is mental illness, in my opinion. Is no matter what, he would have found a reason to do this. But, you know what I mean, the reason why he did it is obviously a problem, because there's a lot of this going on. But a man kills 2 of his kids in Rosarito, Mexico. He's American U.S. citizens, of course. But he kills 2 kids because of a conspiracy theory that he listened to online with QAnon. And this is at least what they're saying. At the end of the day, like I said, y'all, take everything I say with a grain of salt, because I'm trying to give you the most impartial and fair outlook on this shit, because that's how I have to see the world, and to keep my peace at least. But he killed 2 of his kids. One was a 2-year-old, one was a 10-month-old. Son and daughter. He killed them both with a spear gun. Spear gun, my guy. Spear gun. Because he thought that they had serpent DNA that he read about. This conspiracy theory on, you know, these QAnon fucking message boards. And, you know, there's been a lot of it. Like I said, I don't really try to be political. But, you know, you've seen as much on it.
Yeah, I know. Ancient aliens and all that stuff. He got caught up in the whole conspiracy theory.
Exactly.
I think he did a little bit too much, you know. I mean, that's, if you know, right, you know, the first thing, spear gun's meant for whaling, dude. He's already using the wrong sport, you know? So,
yeah,
I mean,
and the fact that you kill your kids over this,
dude,
like
they're itty bitties, man. I mean,
yeah, they're babies.
That's like when they're little. Of course, they look like that. They don't come out looking full grown human at the very beginning, you know.
No,
but
and
it's just too much, man.
Yeah, 2 years old and in 10 months, you're like, bro, you tripping, you're fucking. And it's because he, like I said, he listened. What they said from the articles is said that he really believed through these conspiracy theories that he found on QAnon websites and different places that his wife had serpent DNA and that she passed it along to their children, and that their children were going to grow up to be monsters. And what he his idea of monsters was probably like a liberal or a Democrat. So he was like, "Yo, I can't. This right here, he's a monster. I'm gonna."
Oh no.
Yeah, exactly. But and see and that's why he killed him.
Was he scared that they're gonna become YouTubers? No.
He was scared that they're gonna be, fully self-aware, thinking for their own self, functional human beings, and that they were gonna be okay. But then again, even if dude didn't kill his kids, it's like, yo, if that's the kind of person you are in the household, bro, they're gonna be fucked up anyways. Like don't get me wrong, like this is sad, and I feel a lot, and I'm not trying to be insensitive. It don't fucking matter, bro. You killed a 2-year-old and you killed a 10-month-old, bro. And they need to fucking just run his ass over with a steamroller or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, they're in Mexico, so it's a lot harsher over there. He'll get his for the most part. But I mean,
they need to leave him in a Mexican prison and just let him fucking, you know what I mean? Let him hit the main line out there.
Tragic all around, including on the people who didn't recognize that the dude wasn't right in the first place, you know?
Well, see, that's the problem. Look, this is the reason why I bring it up. Like, I'm not here nor there. Don't get me wrong. I told y'all, I'll say it 1,000 times. I'm not left. I'm not right. I'm just a person for common sense. If that's a thing. And that doesn't mean I'm always right, because I'm learning too. I'm a human. I don't know all the answers, and I'll be the first to tell you on the fucking podcast. But Yeah, like I said, man, you listen to these conspiracy theories and you let things play on your fears, and your fears are usually based on what you. Because think about it like this: he didn't just happen to be like that. You know, he was, by other people, whether it was peer pressure, the internet, whatever it is, manipulation, and just his whatever his psychological fear of things are.
Exactly. He was left to his own thoughts, and it's not like the sad part is in our generation, the Reagan era, they did away with a lot of like mental health, the men in white coats, so to speak. They shut them down. So we didn't grow up with it being a normal thing like how it had been decades, and even decades prior was more of a taboo where people didn't bring it up, you know? So, I mean, imagine a whole generation not being aware of mental illness, you know?
Exactly.
And so, I mean, when we see it, we're like, that person's on crack or whatever. We blame it on something else. We don't really know exactly what could be going on because, and everybody's, through their eyes, everybody's reality is different to them, you know? So, I mean, and we're in the United States, America, which is one of the more advanced, countries in the world. And to the extent where we don't recognize that, well, how would we expect another country to recognize that too? Yeah. So, I mean, if you grow up out there, in say, like a little less developed than, the cities, he's up there in the villages, the little small pueblitos out there, then they're not going to recognize this stuff right away, or they'll just leave him.
No, well, he's American, but I get what you're saying.
Oh, he was American?
He's American, and these were American. That's what I'm saying. He got these. See, look, I agreed totally with what you were saying, though, because at the end of the day, it's like what you're exposed to. Mm-hmm. Because what you're exposed to shapes your way of life. And if you notice, a lot of the wild shit, the shit like this to be coming out of places, it's either from rural places, because a lot of the times they don't see that. They get a lot of their information from the news, from the media. They don't see it personally, so they're already getting gassed up. Like, this is out here. This is what I got to worry about. And
then the minute they get some exposure to it, their prejudices and fears come out, and that supersedes their better judgment in most cases.
Exactly.
And that's just human nature. We're all like that to an extent. No matter who you are, for different reasons, for different things.
Most definitely. And this the thing. Look, like at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck though. Like at the end of the day, you still hurt your kids. You're wild for that. Like if that's how you feel, I'm gonna keep it real. I don't give a fuck. If that's how you feel and that's how you feel the world is going, and you before you feel like you gotta kill your kids, you know what? Just kill yourself. You know what I'm saying? Why take two people out the problem? Take yourself out the problem. That's how I feel, and I don't give a fuck how anybody feels about that because I'm very well aware of suicide and suicide prevention as well as that. And that's what I mean. I just mean in general, like if you're that kind of person where you're so bent out of shape and you're so warped and twisted that you would fucking think about hurting a baby, two babies.
Sometimes,
just do everybody a fucking favor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, every situation is different. There had to have been telltale signs leading up to it somewhere along the way. Someone must have seen something, and to an extent. And
that's why I brought it up.
You got to call, sometimes, not to say you call them on their bullshit, but I mean, sometimes you got to hear them out. Like, okay, well, what are you feeling? What exactly are? Then, not to say that, I mean, I'm a professional where I deal with people on a daily basis. Sometimes you can, after hearing so much BS over a daily basis, sometimes you can tell when someone's BSing you when they're not, When someone believes something wholeheartedly, in their head, something that shows, and that could create red flags depending on who it is, and what they're saying, So, if there's people close to this person, they should have been able to catch that ahead of time. Hopefully.
And you know what? The sad part about it is that's why the topic of why he even thought to get to that point that like he was already like building, like I said, it would have been anything, but he this was something that was available to him, and he was most. It's like. It's extremism, put it that way. Just like anything else.
And it preys on everything. It preys on the weak mind, or people, like most things.
Yeah,
prey on the weak.
And see, the thing is, right now, I bet somewhere, anywhere out in the world, somebody a bigger platform than this is obviously spinning it the other way. Like he was killed by the alien snake people. Like you know what I'm saying? Like look, I when it comes to this,
making him into a martyr.
Exactly, and exactly to further going the shit that's going
agenda.
On. Yeah, exactly. Whatever agenda that might is. I brought that up because that's some bullshit, and I brought that up because the dangers of fucking the internet, y'all. Please, like I tell you, you guys know already. You fuck with me, I'm teaching. I'm not even teaching. I'm just speaking pro common sense. Now, that doesn't mean I'm right in any way. Like I said, I'm definitely know I'm wrong in a lot of things, and I'm subject to growth. But at the same time, some things are just universally out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? And you know what the fuck it is. So, rest in peace to those two children. And
tragic.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep it moving. Texas becomes the first state to make buying sex a felony. In the same state that they voted for it to be legal to have permitless firearm carry, you're gonna look.
Don't they got a Broadway musical in Texas? The best little whorehouse in Texas. I think that's what it's called.
I mean, you know what I'm saying. Look, we know what time it is. Look, the thing is like this. Look, their reason why, and it's a valid reason. It's a very good reason. But I just feel like they're using it more as an excuse. Like I'm sure there's a lot more they could do besides this. And the reason why I'm saying this is because it's like punishing a crackhead. If you're fucking gonna go buy sex and you feel like you just need to go buy sex, you know what I'm saying? You're at the very bottom of the whole criminal totem pole. You dig what I'm saying? Does that make it? It depends. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I mean. And I'll tell you why. But at the same time, it's like, there should be a lot of times. These big fucking guys that are doing way more, big pedophiles and fucking pieces of shit like that, they're getting fucking nothing for shit, and they're trying to make like another thing that obvious, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. But they're saying it, and it's an attempt to stop human trafficking. See, now I'm all for that. I'm all for the stopping the human trafficking. I'm all for the, you know what I'm saying, stopping pedophiles and sex offenders and all that shit. I'm good with that. But I feel like this law is not aimed to help that. You dig what I'm saying? Because we want to get to the point in society where there's no human trafficking available. Like, there's no way that could happen. Yeah. And for them to be like they have to punish the root of that, not the outcome. You dig what I'm saying? And that's part of the outcome. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Wasn't it pretty much illegal to do that anyway, unless it's.
I thought it was illegal always. You feel me? I just never. I thought. No, I know it's illegal, but I thought it was
that's
like more
bunny ranches in Vegas where it's legal at. Places like that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, while they're instituting that law, Perumps is over there sending advertising, commercials to Texas and stuff. Take that drive. Take a flight.
No, I know, and see that's the hypocrisy of this whole United States. It's just like other states that have had what's it called? These marijuana laws change and shit, right? It's like it's hypocritical that it's not legal in all the states already, and it's not a legitimate thing everywhere. Yeah. It's also hypocritical that you have certain states and only certain states where you could gamble and indulge in prostitution. But you're fucking. Do you see what I'm saying? Though that's what I meant. Like, that's been my whole thing. Like, I don't want nobody to twist it. My whole thing has been like, this is, if you really got a problem with that, then you need to do other things.
I see what you're saying. You're saying is that I see the aim is for the greater evil. We're trying to eliminate the greater evil.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what we're always trying to do. We don't want these horrible circumstances.
Exactly.
But I mean, it's like, to me, it feels like they're just beating a dead horse because it was already, laws like that anyway.
To keep it honest with you, I just feel like that's just another way to incarcerate, to have a reason to incarcerate people, and not just people, but a specific demographic. Because look, of course, laws, quotation marks, apply to the whole land in which the laws, the people that govern that land set these laws, right? But in reality, though, that's just another thing on the books, another reason why to give more people longer sentences for really, as long as it's, adult, consensual, a situation where there's money exchanged, unless it's that, of course we get that, but otherwise it's not really a crime, it's a victimless crime in that sense. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was trying to think of a scenario where it's like, another thing was like porno scenarios where it's like, you can't fix your car, huh? Okay, you can't pay the mechanic deal. It's like
and that's a big problem
we're talking
too.
About, or what are we talking?
No, I'm just saying, like, in general, like it's just really no one. If it's a consensual act with adults, no one gets hurt. The person gets paid. The person pays for his service or whatever. Like they have, like I said already, in other states. I feel like it's just another way for them to incarcerate people, and we already know the margin of who gets the heavier time and who gets the light hand. We already know where that's skewed at. So to me, the way I look at it, like if they want to really get rid of that problem, you have to start in other places first. You know what I'm saying? Where the high to eliminate the potential, especially for to me, you know what I mean? If it's legal in one state, it should be legal in all fucking states. That's how I feel like. So if that's what you're gonna do, prostitution, you're of age, whatever, handle the business. If you're talking about human trafficking, especially children and all that shit, then at all times they need to be handling their business and making that the fucking priority and doing what they do. But if we're talking about that, because see, the thing is also, I feel like they're trying to throw that human trafficking thing in there to confuse the two, to have another reason why they could go and you know what I mean, and incarcerate people. Like I said, a felony, bro.
That reminds me. I think I was seeing something. I guess an upcoming Apple update where iPhones. They're talking about it, so it's not like anything for sure is going to happen, but more so, trying to
they're going to scan
the photos and just check for child porn and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like, well, where do they draw the line? You know?
Well, I don't even think of it like that. I'm just like, for everybody, and once again, and you know how we preach, don't be doing stupid shit online, and this has told. It's not the same issue, but it's kind of similar because in the way. If they're thinking about they're going to do that, then they could already do that. So if you have anything stupid on your phone to begin with, that's your fucking ass. So look, is it an invasion of privacy if we're talking about our rights and stuff like that? I feel like it is, because that's basically saying that they're going to look at all your pictures in your phone, regardless, no matter what. Now, the reason what they're using, I'm like, I get that reason for sure. That's totally a legitimate reason. But at the same time, it's like, are you hiding under that to actually be able to do these things? Or are you really doing it because the priority is to eradicate the bullshit?
The method that they're talking about Apple's doing is going to be that it's going to be sort of a program or a bot that looks through all your stuff, right? Then it references it to a human for another review, which still... It's going to take every questionable photo I have and go to it for review.
Photos are many, bro. I don't know what kind of technology they got, but you could go online right now and you could see a photo of somebody that looks like something else. Like the bald dude that's laying on the bed. He looks like a bunch of ass cheeks at first. Yeah.
one angle it's a dog, the next thing it's a woman holding champagne glass.
So look, like I said, I'm for the bullshit, but I'm not for that other bullshit. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, it is what it is. It's weird. It's this life, y'all. It's technology. It is what it is. And be careful out there in Texas, because you could hold a gun without a permit, but you can't buy some grown pussy and without going down. You feel what I'm saying? So shit's about to get real hectic out there. You know what I mean? But my opinion, it's just hypocrisy, and it's just another way for them to lock people up. Now, the right people that do the wrong shit, you already know what time it is. But the people that are just trying to buy a little bit of pussy, let that man buy some pussy. He ain't hurt nobody.
As a disclaimer, we don't condone tricking, because I don't know.
Yeah, we don't condone tricking, but the pimps got to get paid, players. So you know what I'm saying. So we're not knocking the hustle. We just, as long as the hustle is how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? As long as everybody's on point. So look, okay, we did that already. We're gonna go ahead and jump off to the next topic. And this is just something I wanted to shoot to you. It's like a little thing, because we grew up on the IHOPs and the Denny's and all this shit though. So IHOP actually announced that they're gonna start adding alcohol to their menu, which is something that they've had in select locations already. But I'm just like, I kind of seen it and I started laughing. I'm like, damn, IHOP, either you're doing bad or you're doing real good, and you're just like, fuck it, let's live it up, baby. Like you think you're leaving the club at 2 a.m. and you're gonna fucking drink, you're gonna be hungover and you're gonna go get something sobering at IHOP? Nah, IHOP keeps the party rolling. When you get here, they got you some you want some champagne, baby? Here you go. The light, you know what I'm saying, the finer things in life. You know what I'm saying? They're offering alcohol, they said, only, but it ain't gonna be like shots. So yeah, they still try to sober you up a little bit.
Would you like some beer with that bacon?
Exactly. How's that dark stout with them stack of flapjacks going on? You know what I'm saying?
It's not a bad idea, man. I'll actually go step it one further. Offer them a smoke and a pancake.
What else?
For the most part, they just gotta survive. With the pandemic hitting, everybody had to shut down. I've been watching my local IHOP for the last few months, last year and stuff. Seeing
I ain't gonna lie, IHOPs are always shady though.
Yeah,
Denny's is shady too, but IHOP's always just like you looking around like I don't know. You know what I mean? Anytime now.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, usually if you're out and about and you're hungry at that moment, you really don't care where you end up. You're either gonna be in a drive-thru somewhere or you're gonna sit down and eat something comfortable. Yeah. Maybe if allowed. So I mean, survival. Like all businesses, you try to make the most with the least, and if it ain't cutting it, you gotta do something new and switch it up.
Yeah.
So
now I'm with it. I ain't even mad because you know what though? At the same time, we're talking about the late night shenanigans. But how many of y'all motherfuckers wake up with a hangover and you know what you like? Let's go eat some motherfucking bacon and some pancakes. Let's do some breakfast food. And you get there and I mean, I don't know. You might call it a wives' tale or whatever. But if you're hungover, ain't nothing better than getting a beer or some more alcohol in your system because it helps calm that feeling down. And then you eat, of course. And I mean, follow me for more recipes on how to fucking treat a hangover.
This ain't Discovery Channel. We ain't gonna break down the science of it. We just tell you it works.
Exactly. We just know that we know it works.
Yeah.
But I'm for it. Shit, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I might pull up in the morning and shit be hungover. I just need a beer before my breakfast. And cause this is the thing that I don't understand. It's like, okay, you're IHOP. I mean, like, so what does that mean though? That means like you're gonna honor these liquor store rules, right? Like at 8:00, like the beer and the wine is flowing, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I know like in California, it might be different across the nation. Like Vegas is 24 hours and shit, but California, we got to stop selling alcohol at 2:00. Period.
Well, all I know is if they're gonna continue to be International House of Pancakes, I better see sake, tequila, German lagers, and you know what I'm saying,
I want to see international time zones recognized.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to pull up at 6 a.m. and get a fucking beer and with my coffee, you dig? You know what I'm saying? So,
I like some chorizo con huevos and a modelo, please.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And then I also want y'all to acknowledge and recognize that I pour a little bit out every time I take a drink. Before I take a sip, I pour some out for the homies. You feel me? So you got me fucked up. If you guys are going to go there, then I need y'all to go all the way. But yeah, shout out to IHOP. They trying to compete with Denny's. We all know that Denny's is the most ratchet place. Anytime, any place. Denny's is like the motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, the San Quentin of fucking late night diners and shit. You know what I'm saying? So
this food industry's brutal, man. Do what you got to do.
And do it well.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so that's cool. And speaking about food though, also like I've been watching it recently, and I don't know what it is. And I'm gonna salute it, but I don't know what it is or how they're doing it. But shout out first to Travis Scott, and then shout out to BTS. You know what I'm saying? K-pop, and then shout out to Sweetie because they all got meals with McDonald's. Now, we grew up when in the 80s and shit when shit like that was corny, but it was only corny because people weren't thinking about the business aspect of it. And it's like when it comes down to the music and the culture, it's like you might as well get paid for it. Do it how you want to. Don't give nobody control over it, but do it how you want to and get your money from it, because at the end of the day, it's all business. You feel me? They're making money off you, so you might as well get a piece of that money for yourself and be ahead of the game. But yeah, Sweetie got her own meal. Shout out to Sweetie Berry, his own. I ain't mad at you at all, mama. Get your money. Fuck it, you know what I mean? Chicken nuggets with
success
with the motherfucking macaroni.
Yeah, much success to all artists out there. Just in the struggle. By all means, any way you get it. Make it work for you.
You know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do. I ain't mad at it. We grew up obviously on some different shit, but I mean now it's the time. It's like I said, is they're making money off the culture. You might as well make money off yourself first. And do it and have control over it, because if they're willing to come partner with you and get you a piece of that, then fuck it. I ain't even mad. Like, what's up? No Invite Podcast, McDonald's, let's collab. You know what I'm saying? We can come up with a fucking burger that's infused. You know what I'm saying?
Tell me what the Blaze meal has.
The Blaze meal has all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese. And you know what I'm saying, with a couple of doobies in it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So you could taste the flavor. It's gonna
I taste it already.
Yeah, the alcohol, I mean, it's not gonna be alcohol, but it's gonna be like, you know what I'm saying, a high sugar content. It's
gonna be one of those what's called whiskey seared patties.
Exactly. It's gonna be infused. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna come with a motherfucking a high C. But we're gonna throw it back. It's gonna be ecto cooler. You feel what I'm saying? For all y'all, if y'all don't know about that, it's gonna be a high C ecto cooler, a quarter pounder with the works. and 2 doobies in there or some loud. It gotta be loud though. If it ain't loud, then you know what? McDonald's is in breach of contract and shit over that shit. So it gotta be loud. The French fries are gonna be regular because we don't play with the French fries. French fries gotta be right, but it's all gonna come in one of those pound bag like they use for the loud. You know what I'm talking about? They use for the pounds of weed.
Yeah.
Or it might even come in a turkey bag. Who the fuck knows? Like I want it in a turkey bag, and you know what I mean. You also gotta make sure that it's gonna be sealed with a gram of wax. You dig what I'm saying? That'll be it. I think that's my motherfucking McDonald's collab meal. Holla at me. You know what I mean? You can find me on Instagram. You can find us on our YouTube page. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We can make this happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Teamwork make the dream work.
McDonald's,
baby.
you know, the daddy meal's out there. The Dabby meal's
out there, 420 friendly. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll take it back in the days how I used to get the Happy Meals and you could pull off the cardboard on it and it'll be like some glasses or some other shit, right?
Yeah.
Like I'll do that, but it'll be some stoner glasses so that you could put it on when you're stoned and you don't just want to ignore people.
You
like
break off a crutch off of the Happy Meal handle and stuff.
Ooh, maybe some papers off.
You know,
you dig what I'm saying? It all comes wrapped in a gummed sheet, 1 pound paper.
3 complimentary cones up into built into the box.
Exactly. I mean, you know, just regular shit. I mean, you know, we ain't trying to complicate things because you smoke, you eat, and then you got a couple activities. Maybe you could have some stoner facts or questions on the side of the box like back in the day.
But you're welcome, Mickey D's, for giving me all these marketable ideas.
Oh, not to be used without the expressive consent of Blaze, you know what I'm saying? Because anything else will be, you know, totally taken as copyright infringement as well as theft of intellectual property. And I will go through the proper channels to do what I got to do because I need my issue, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got to be the face. You could get Wiz Khalifa or somebody for that. But just know that I need my share, McDonald's. You got me fucked up in here. So look, okay, last topic that I wanted to do, and it's kind of going to be a rant, I guess. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. We're not even going to do that shit. We're going to jump into the fucking, we're going to jump into the segment of the podcast. That was the here and now, everybody. Cue the fucking applause. But we're going to jump into the Put You Up on Game segment of the podcast. And this is basically where we make announcements for anything that we got going on. You know, shows, clothing, merch drops. If the guest got something to promote or push, you know what I'm saying, we give them the opportunity to let them know and know where to find it. And since it's just a guy and he got everything, so, I mean, there's not, whatever you need, he got it. So, I mean, you getting it and you gonna get it. So, I mean.
I always like to feel people like more so what I would do in your situation based off what I know. If I don't know anything about it, I'll just fold straight up. Why play around, you know? Yeah, but if I know a thing or two, I'd help out where I can. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So those of you who know me, you know where to get at me.
You know the guy, and you know where he's at. And if you don't know the guy, then you don't know nothing. So, anyways, look, like I was saying, this is the announcements right now. Fucking Saturday, August 20th. The Circulate record release party. We are going to be out there in the flesh, funky fresh and in the flesh, doing what we do, you know, reaching out, campaigning, you know what I mean, fucking shaking hands, you know, 6 feet, of course, and I'm going to need you to, my security's going to need you to fucking, to utilize the hand sanitization device before
doing the demolition man greetings.
Exactly, like, I don't want to be that guy where my security is like, you know, not pepper spraying people, but like spraying people with Lysol because they don't listen and they just walk up. But he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? My security will do some shit like that. So in order to prevent all that, you know what I'm saying, we're going to be out there campaigning. On the real though, the Chico Spitz record release party for his long, highly awaited Circulate project is going to be out there. We're going to have performances by himself, by me, because I'm, you know, I do a little bit of everything, but I'm hosting the event, so you're gonna actually get to hear me talk my shit in front of everyone, and I probably will be drunk, just so you know. So if you don't know, or now you know.
Buzz, to say the least.
Exactly. Speaking of drunk, hold on, let me get a shot. But yeah, Record release party, Las Vegas, Nevada. We out there. Shout out to everybody in Nevada, all points in between. Y'all know what it is. The love is real. Y'all, I mean, I can't say nothing else. Like, it's a lot of love out there for us. And likewise out here in the Bay Area, got a lot of love for Vegas. You know, if you tapped in, you tapped in. I know everybody out here in the Bay, Northern California, got somebody or knows somebody to live in Vegas. You know what I'm saying?
That's the truth.
And I'm sure the Vegas natives don't like that shit. Here you go. But at the same time, you gotta understand it's like having a foreign exchange project, like, you know what I'm saying, where you exchange students, you know. So the Bay, one thing I could say about Las Vegas, cheers. Let me take this shot real quick since we're talking about Vegas.
Yes, Vegas. To me, it's like the second Antioch, Oakley, Brentwood.
Ugh. Go ahead, you late, bro, because I just went and checked it. But look, one thing I can say about Vegas that we really do get along, at least the Bay Area. I can't speak for nowhere else, but the Bay Area in my side, in Northern California, we really do mesh really well with the people out there in Vegas because they are good people. And we're a lot similar in a lot of ways, and we're different too with that. But that's the cool part about it. So shout out to Northtown, shout out to the east, to the west, all over Las Vegas. You know what I mean? We out there, record release party, twerk contest, a beer pong tournament. You feel me? You got to get in there. I think there's only like 10 slots. So let me get my information right, because I want to make sure that you guys know everything that you're supposed to, because this is the announcement time. So this is what it is. The record release party, 18 and over event. Please bring ID. Security will be enforced. 21 and over will get wristbands so you can go in and get your drink on. Ladies are free till 10:30 p.m. Get the fuck out of here. See, I didn't even know this. I just got this sent over today. Twerk contest, $300 in cash prizes. Little booties do matter. So if you don't got a lot of ass, it's okay, baby. As long as something jiggle, it's okay. You get up there and go for yours. You know what I'm saying?
You know, shoot, somebody's loving it out there. Just shake
I'm gonna tell you like this. It's just like anything else. It may not be everybody's cup of tea, but somebody love that shit. Right. And there are a lot of motherfuckers out there. You try to front like you don't, bro. It's okay. Embrace the little booties. They matter too. But we're gonna have beer pong tournament, 10 teams max. Spots first come first serve for the team, so you got to be in there. You know it's Vegas and it's turned up to the max, but even out there all over the nation they have a mask mandate, so at least have a mask indoors. You feel me? Outside you want to go out and wild out in the streets and be for the streets, and then God bless you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at you neither. So performing live, OBB half, of course, my partner, my brother, and then my brother Bartholomew Sweats, aka Chico Spitz, will be performing. Like I said, it's his record release party. I will be hosting. I might get on the mic and perform. You know, I do a little bit of everything. So for y'all that don't know me for nothing else than the podcast, just know that I fucking rap and I will still slap somebody in their goddamn face. But yeah, we got DJ Party Hardy, and it's a RiBirth event, baby. So we out there. Also wanted to announce OBB half RiBirth recording artist, his 182A album will be dropping soon. It's gonna be like a surprise, so I mean, be ready for it. I can't tell you to set your alarms because you never know. I just want you to live in constant and perpetual fear.
You never know, man. Maybe this week, next Tuesday, next few Tuesdays from now.
Exactly. I want you to have perpetual and constant anxiety over when it's going to drop.
Yes.
You dig what I'm saying? Not to add to the one you have already. You have to compartmentalize this anxiety from your already originating one that you have. You dig? But yes, 182A, the album is dropping and it is fire. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that because I'm biased. I'm saying it because it is what it is. It's fire. New project. Video on the way. I mean, and we're gonna be doing a lot more things. This is just what's on the calendar now. You know what I mean? We got sessions, we got other things that we're partaking in. The Cone Gang album is gonna be coming soon too. That's probably the next thing that we're gonna be working on. So shout out Oski at We Out Here promo. Shout out Mabo Rabo, and of course the fellas, the originals. You know what I'm saying? Shout us out. We're gonna have a dope little stoner project. It's gonna be all stony, bro. That's all I could say. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, that was the motherfucking Put You Up on Game segment. We're going to go ahead and jump into the No Invite Podcast PSA, bro. And the PSA is simple. And the PSA is it's not that serious. And when I say that is there's certain things that call for certain actions and certain things that don't. Now, I'm not here to tell anybody how to react or how to interpret things, because that's what makes us free, I guess, is we're up to our own thing. My whole thing is that just always look at every situation with the perspective is it that serious?
Exactly.
Because the No Invite podcast PSA comes from the recent incident in LA where on Melrose, where an individual was shot. He's an employee of Shoe Palace, and he was shot and killed over a dispute for the tickets or whatever, for the raffle of shoes, basically. Now, that's the simplistic way of putting it. Now, I know for a fact that there was more to it than that. You know, I wasn't there, and a lot of these places, especially where I did my research, they weren't there. So there, you know what I'm saying? But just know, at the end of the day, is it that serious?
Well, I mean, the thing is, a lot of people in the moment, they lose track of what, you know, is real and what's not. And that goes back to mental health too, you know, because, I mean, some people's detached from reality. And, I mean, you know, some people are in constant control. I think I'm one of those people where I'm constantly in control of everything I do. Even when I'm out of control, somehow I'm governing myself. You know?
Me too. To an extent, like where it's, sometimes it ain't even cool. Like
exactly,
like bro,
like the body shuts me down. Like, okay, it keeps me in check already. Yeah. But I mean, in some cases, some people a little bit more impulsive than others. You know, I mean, I've known of a person, you know, R.I.P. Sammy D, who got killed over his own parking spot in his apartment complex. You know?
Yeah.
So I mean, of the most pettiest things for things to blow up, you know, a parking spot.
Exactly.
So I mean, basically nothing is that serious in life to where you can't, you know, get over it. You know, a dispute, an altercation. You know, even if things get physical, you know, they don't have to get to that next level always.
Yeah, and see, I'm all for self-defense, and I'm all for, you know, self-defense and protecting yourself. So, but what I'm saying is, it's like, okay, so look, to give some context to the situation, the individual that they caught now, because, bro, you're on Melrose, there's cameras everywhere in the fucking world. Let's not forget, there's cameras every fucking way you turn. If you drive around and you look at the buildings, you'll see cameras on everything. So he got caught and he was 16 years old. And this is sad. This is sad for a lot of different reasons. One, the individual lost his life. I don't know how much he was doing or how much he wasn't. At the same time, it's never that serious. Unless he had a gun and they had a gun. Like I said, I'm all for self-defense, whatever. But this individual was young, whole life ahead of him. He's gone now too. You on camera doing it because they got you on camera doing it. They got you, and you know that this institution, this government, this law system likes to make examples of people.
There's no getting away from things nowadays. Everything tells on you.
Everything. Your phone telling on you. Like we said, we just talked about it earlier. Yeah. So, to me, it's like, my thing is it worth it? Part of, like, maturing, and it's unfortunate because some people have it young and some people don't, but part of maturing is understanding to have that patience, or at least to have that thought to stop and think and assess the situation.
Exactly. You know.
And a lot of times, in the heat of the moment, and I'm guilty of this, plenty of times in the heat of the moment, you react, and it fucking turns for the worse. Now, in this situation, it's never that serious. I'm gonna tell you like this, like lately, even really, like, I feel when you start living by this, the more that attempts on you to get out of that new way of thinking happen. And I've had this happen a lot, like where I've
like
changed.
Like you get tested.
Exactly, and people could say it's the devil. People could say it's God testing you. I don't think God tests you. I think God wants you to think freely for yourself, but God is not going to stop obstacles from happening to you.
Well, I always think life's a journey. You know, life's a journey, and you're gonna have obstacles no matter what you're doing. You know, things are good, things are bad. Everything's an obstacle.
Everything is moving and clicking and bumping. Everything ain't on your time. You dig what I'm saying? So how you feel about something now that doesn't mean that everybody else is gonna feel you. Exactly. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. You're just, I said plenty of times, you're as you evolve in life. Some people have it earlier because you have a lot of people that have common sense, and a lot of people that are more observant and will react to things because they stop and give themselves the time to it. Then you got a lot of people that are instinctual and that are hurt and that are fucking have mental health issues, and they react and they do stupid shit. But at the same time, it's like, to me, this most simplistic way to put it is it fucking that serious? And it's not. Now this person done lost his life. His whole family is destroyed and distraught over this, and the individual who did it just lost his life, because now you're falling right into the whole, like, we could, and there's a lot of examples. We grow up in harsh circumstances, and people either lean into those harsh circumstances and accept that that's all there is for them, or people go against the odds and they're like, yo, there has to be more for me.
Defy the
odds. And you know what? I'm not going to go into this set out situation for me. I'm going to fight against it and try to beat the odds. And that's what a lot of artists and a lot of people, entrepreneurs and stuff, they're doing. They don't want to fall into a pre-diagnosed,
like we say, well, I don't want to be a statistic, I
don't want to be a statistic, exactly. And like I said, the way things are skewed out there, you have a better odd of fucking your life up because of where you live and how you live than you do other people, and that's just how it goes. So we have to be 100%, 200% more mindful in what we do in our decisions. Because we have to understand that the odds are already against us. You deal what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, that's where a lot of our parents got that working extra hard mentality from, because they knew that already. And even then, their odds against them were probably 3 times ours, because they didn't come over here knowing how to speak Spanish, or they came here and speak English. Yeah. Or they came here and learned. You deal what I'm saying? So they had the odds against it, but they knew it. And it's, I was having a discussion with somebody on Facebook because they were saying like, yo, this is ugly. It's never been like this, because they were talking about the shootings around here and all, the newspapers, how they like to pump the negativity a lot, right? But I'm like, yo, they're not really pumping the negativity, and it's not like these things haven't been happening. The thing is that back then you didn't have a timeline to look at and know every time something did happen.
When it happened.
So you were in your little bubble, in your little world, all safe, oblivious to what was going on, and if you weren't looking for it, you weren't tripping off of it. See, and I didn't get a response back after that, because a lot of times, I comment on things, and I'm learning to not comment on shit, because common sense has no place on the internet.
No, that's been one of the most truest things ever since it was like chat rooms, when people pretend to be someone they're not,
Exactly. It does have no fucking, it has no period. It has no fucking, no place on there, because common sense is looked at crazy. Like I told you, and I know because you definitely listen to the podcast. One of my theories is that when all the information is out there, like there's no hiding it, there's nowhere to hide sharing it, which is the internet. One of the things that whoever doesn't want you to succeed for whatever reasons, for whatever their agendas are, because everybody has an agenda, is by making common sense and the foundation and building blocks of a good society or good people, by making it corny. That's why the dad's a goofball on TV, and they make him like he don't know nothing, he's stupid. That's why the mom is who she is, and she's extra hard, and she has to be the rock and foundation. The mom is the foundation and the rock, but they try to weaken the household by lessening one person or the other. Just like how they used to be like the mom is only good for washing dishes and clothes and shit. That was bullshit. Because, in reality, no matter what fucking era you lived in, mom did way more than just wash dishes and do the bullshit.
My wife turned to a vet all of a sudden. She went ahead and fixed the dog's broken leg. And it's like, you have no veterinary training whatsoever?
Because it's a part of the whole, you know what I mean? It's just the narrative that's built out there. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. So the narrative is, you know what I'm saying, people are stupid and unfortunately, unfortunately that's what it is. So you can't take your cues from that. You got to take your cues from fucking real life.
Exactly.
And
real life can bring you anything. You know, there's no script to life. You know,
everybody ain't moving at the same time you moving. So while you're mad and while you talking that shit, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep it all the way funky for you. What the fuck how did we get to this fucking point in the conversation?
We'll see. I think it started out with the whole PSA trying to keep us you know,
is it that serious?
Is that serious? No, it's most of the time it's not, you know. And I try to teach, you know, my kids that for the most part, you know, because
it's a real deep issue. Like, it's a real deep talk. That's how I fucking spiraled off to wherever the fuck I went. But I'm sure that it was really all rooted in some common sense. Exactly. But at the end of the day, you're right.
It all starts with upbringing, you know, the stuff we learn early on, you know, how to react to situations, what's the proper way to react, you know. We learn that from the people that brought us up.
It's manipulation, too. A lot of people don't realize is that if somebody knows how to push your buttons, then they know how to control you.
Kind of like a athlete that knows how to draw the foul.
Exactly. Knows how to flop. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But understand that, though. That's some real shit, though. Just know that and understand that it's like, if somebody knows how to push your buttons and how to get you to react, you're handing over control of yourself. Now, that doesn't mean that, you know, the things that they bring up don't warrant attention or don't warrant, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, you gotta fucking be real. Now, you got a look on your face like you want to say some funny shit. So like,
kind of, sort of. Just like, it's totally off topic, but just in saying all this whole thing, I've kind of convinced my daughter, my 3-year-old, to refer to LeBron James as Crybaby. Cause I showed her some videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, Space Jam being in the movies and stuff, she got the Happy Meal. Of course, the first Happy Meal toy she got was LeBron James. So I was like, oh, I'm like, you got that Crybaby? She's like, he's a Crybaby? So I had to explain her, show her the whole thing.
Had to break it down to you why.
Had to show him his antics, what he really was all about.
Yeah, I mean, and when it comes to that, it's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You got to give her the perspective. It's because, like, people spin shit, you know what I'm saying? So even though he does a lot of good shit, but if we're talking about the athletic perspective of him, then it is what it is.
You know, just sportsmanship. You know, that's really what I'm calling it from. You know, I'm not calling it from anything else, just what I've seen. And his behavior on the court around, you know,
and a lot of people hold that against him. That's why that they be tripping off him like that.
And that's the only reason I brought it up. You know, otherwise, personally, as much good as he's done, I don't know what good he's done. But I'm pretty sure he's out there doing
shout out to everything good he's done and continue doing good things for people. I'm all that, but fuck LeBron James because this the Bay Area and we talk that shit and we the Warriors out here.
Oh no, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Shit, because I've seen him play against my Warriors and see what he's done. You know?
Exactly.
So I respect him as an athlete.
As a
I could never do what he could do.
Yeah,
Trust me, I could never. Otherwise, I'd be trying to take a spot. You know, but you know,
I get what you're saying. No doubt.
So ultimately, it's like, what kind of example are we showing? Because whether we like it or not, you know, if we're up there and people look at us with any kind of admirability, we are setting an example, and people look to us whether we like it or not. Sometimes we were, you know, reluctant role models.
And see, and that's the thing. It's like, I mean, some people know what they're getting into. Sometimes it just happens because you don't know what the kind of effect that you'll have on somebody just by being a good person to them or whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, he knows what time it is. He knows me not finna that shit. Like, don't get me wrong. If I see him right now, I'm not gonna be like, "Fuck you, LeBron James." It's like, no, I'll be like, I get it. There's the human, there's the athlete, there's all multi things to it. But look, check this is the No Vibe Podcast. We're gonna take a quick break because I take a piss to keep real with you, and we'll be back in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Bang, bang, bang. We back. No Vibe Podcast, Season 2, The Level Up, Episode 46. I'm in here with the guy.
It is me.
The guy. And we're talking, and it's about time we kick y'all in the head with this motherfucking main topic. And the main topic is a lot of topics wrapped up into one and balled in together. But you know what I'm saying? It's balled all in together, but it has to do with a main. I'm gonna use this whole theme to just generalize it or put a blanket over it, but it goes deeper. We could go deep into any one of these conversations, but basically the main topic of this episode is art versus ego. And earlier we were on live before we jumped on live to talk about we usually like to address the live on Instagram and give them an opportunity to present any kind of topics for us. And we had my manager, which is a real cool person. Shout out to Akasha. She's my manager, you know what I'm saying? And we were talking about art versus ego. She brought it up, and we've had discussions about this before because I'm super pro artist, but I'm also anti bullshit. And a lot of people get those two confused. Now, for instance, like to me, when I mean art versus ego on an artist scale, like somebody that's rapping, singing, playing instrument, whatever it is, artistically wise, you paint, whatever. Art versus ego is basically what I'm saying is like it's okay for you to believe you're the shit. It's okay for you to believe like you're the best thing smoking coming out, whatever. But you have to also understand that everybody is not gonna believe that, you know. And it's and you have to let the art speak for itself, because I know a lot of people that think they're the shit, but they're whack as fuck.
Yeah, no, I can.
And whack as fuck is just my opinion because of my. That doesn't mean everybody thinks they're whack as fuck, but I just feel like they are because of their art. Because their art suffers when you have a big ego.
True. That is very true. Because when you have a big ego, no one can tell you, you know, what you need to work on. Because you're going to assume that they don't know what they're talking about because the ego is so big. It's inflated. You know, you can't do no wrong other than what your belief is. And that's where you start cutting yourself short from taking in all perspectives.
And like I said, there's a difference between confidence, because I love a confident artist. When she or he got his fucking, knows what they want, they know what it is. That's dope. It's because I deal with a lot of artists. Obviously, my manager manages people, and I'm getting into that arena myself. And the difference is that no matter what successful artists that these artists have based their life on or looked at and be like, I'm gonna be just as big as whatever, those artists have had a team around them, and every decision that they've made may have been, which I doubt, but may have been by their own hand, but they've had a lot of influence and a lot of other people that had their hand in that and helping them, because it takes a team. And ego removes that team from that person and makes them feel like they know that they're right. Can nobody tell me shit?
Oh yeah.
And a lot of times when things don't go the way that they planned it, they don't see why. They take that and they make it like, yo, everybody's fucking wrong.
That's true.
This is I'm right. I can't believe it. And you get a lot of bitterness.
And that goes to what I would think, that we're all our own worst enemy. You know, the biggest thing that we have in our way sometimes is ourselves. You know, we have to get past ourselves, the petty things, you know, the mental blocks, you know, where we don't want to like acknowledge them what they are, but they're mental blocks, you know, we have, you know, whether it be an ego thinking like, oh, I don't need to improve in this one aspect because I'm already this shit. I'm way better than this person. But I mean, you know, over time, you know, things erode. You may not be as good as you once were, or what you may be doing may get tired. You know, you have to keep adjusting, keep evolving, keep moving, keep working.
Yeah, and see, the thing is like, when we're dealing with artists and stuff like that, a lot of artists are jaded because a lot of artists has been told the world is going to happen and it doesn't happen for them, and then that bases their fucking outlook and their reaction on things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that goes with everyone, you know.
Exactly.
Everybody gets jaded if things ain't working out for them, even though they've been keeping their nose to the grindstone, been busting their ass and trying to get shit done. Yeah. You know, I mean, no matter who you are, it's just human nature.
Yeah.
You know?
And see, the thing is that we're not saying that you're wrong to believe in yourself, and we're not saying that you shouldn't believe in yourself and have a passion for what you do. My thing is that that's where the art and the ego goes. If you have a passion for what you do, and you really believe in what you're doing as far as the art goes and what you're going at, then you're going to go around and accept people, things, ideas, ways of thinking that may not necessarily be what you came with. That they weren't installed in you, but you learn because you know that you're evolving and that you're trying to get to a certain place, and you're open to it. And that's the most thing. It's like a lot of artists, because they're jaded, they're not open to doing certain things that normally they would do. Like we have, you know, I've dealt with all kind of artists, all types of producers. I got producers out there that making real fire ass beats, but they want thousands of dollars for their beats, And I'm like, bro, you haven't been anywhere. Nobody knows you. Like, how are you gonna charge $1,000 for some beats? That's like what you're saying is you're disrespecting all the real producers that had to grind for it. And that doesn't mean you have to take a low amount of money or whatever you feel like. But at the same time, if you set a standard for yourself and you are you're unwavering, you're not willing to compromise, then you're not going to get to where you're going.
Yeah, because I mean, say for instance that particular circumstance, that situation, I could see a situation where somebody goes ahead and gets a sample of the beat, uses it anyway, makes their own songs to it, releases them anyway, and goes ahead and does something with it rather than buying the rights outright. This stuff has been happening over decades, longer than I could even speak about. So I mean, at a point in time, you got to understand that when you're in, starting out in any situation, any profession, anything that you're going to go ahead and put your name next to, you have to pay your dues. Yeah. There are dues to be paid. Nobody comes in a superstar right out the bat.
You're your own advertisement. And I feel like when you have a big ego and be like, yo, I'm not pulling up if they ain't got this, if they ain't got that. If you're really not that dude, because there's always exceptions and there's always certain people, but just because that person came up this way, that doesn't mean that's your route. You understand what I'm saying? Some people gotta work harder. Some people fucking stumble into this shit and just get a fucking opportunity and they have enough fucking know-how and foresight just to fucking jump on it because they realize that. But at the end of the day, there's no one successful on this earth that didn't get some cues or some game or some kind of assistance by learning, whether it's just getting some conversation for somebody that's been doing it and adapting their game plan. Now, when it comes to stuff, you gotta be as an artist real selective of who you fuck with, and you gotta be real selective of who you take risks on. See, don't block as a producer, don't block working with your fucking next superstar because he's not paying you right. Get your money, but not only that, it's promotion. Same thing with these artists, bro. I ain't never heard who the fuck are you and you want $500 a verse? Come on now. Get your name out there. Work. Do a lot of shit. Be on the scene. Don't do it for the art, because when you do it from the art, that's when the art gets to be the art. The ego blocks it. I feel like the ego blocks the true form and the intention of what the art should be, because we're more worried about certain things than we are about opportunities that us presenting our shit out there could give us.
Yeah, exactly. Because basically what you're saying is that at that point the ego blocks us from extra opportunities, from seeing how dope we really can be, how dope this collaboration can be with this person or that person. We're already closing doors without even examining the possibilities of what they could be. I mean, you don't necessarily release everything you do. You can still explore.
And yeah, and it's all about being calculated. You're your artist. You know what you want for your artwork, but you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might have to compromise. And when you can't compromise, sometimes you got to fucking find a different route. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Like, that's the difference between art and... I feel like ego blocks a lot of these artists that have a lot of dope potential. It blocks them from actually fulfilling and it blocks their growth because they're really not willing to get their hands dirty for it. They feel like they're so talented that, I don't got to do that. They're going to come to me. I know motherfuckers that have sat for years waiting for people to come to them, and they were really dope and didn't do shit with it. And unfortunately, a lot of people let that ego get in the way. And, I could say at times I've been the same person. I've had an ego, and I've thought that, I didn't think more in the future. I thought about more of right now, what's going on, and you got to understand that in life you're growing, just like a plant, just like a motherfucking weed that you smoke. Anything that's natural, that's comes from the earth, is growing, and eventually it's gonna die. And as you grow, if you don't give yourself the shit to keep reaching the next level and becoming a better version of you, then what happens? You're gonna die faster. Now obviously we're humans and anything at any time could happen, but I'm speaking more of an artistic and as a mental mind state as a person.
Or more like the memory of you, because exactly. I mean, you're as good as your last your last
how people gonna remember
project.
you.
Exactly. Like there's artists from local artists from the Bay Area that we grew up listening over the years, where we heard them, and all of a sudden next thing you know, it's like, where'd they go? They disappeared. Well, what happened? To some extent, probably life came into play. Life took over.
Life, bad contracts, all kinds of shit comes up.
Exactly. Or more so, actual real life where family comes in and takes over the whole thing. And changes everything, the whole dynamic. But I mean, it's one thing to be able to recognize, that the ones that came before you, the ones that helped shape and mold you, the ones that you looked up to coming up, and not stepping on toes, knowing that what I am is because of the influence of these over here, and at the same time, when your contemporaries, recognize that, hey, this person's dope. I may not particularly vibe with this person, but they're dope, and I'm gonna go and give them their props, and I'm not gonna tear them down unnecessarily without proper merit or proper reason.
Yeah. For sure, and that's part of the art versus ego. Like I said, man, you just gotta be open. You gotta be open to growth. You gotta be open to failure. You gotta understand that shit ain't gonna
Failure
go always.
shapes you, whether you like it or not.
Man,
you don't think about it, but
it ain't about how many times you fall. It ain't like they say. It ain't about how many times you fall. It's about how you get up. I
mean, I can't speak for all situations, but they're not all bad. They're all learning experiences in most cases.
Man, I feel like that, and that's why I say art versus ego. I feel like because your ego is more crippling than any loss. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna fucking give up faster, or find a cop out or an escape for why things are going the way they're going from your ego than you are than just be like, hey, this is a part of the process.
Exactly.
This is what I'm supposed to. You know what? This got to mean something. I'm gonna keep going and everything. And that's another part of it. Like at some point, every artist has to realize that, okay, maybe you're not gonna make it, but now, what were your intentions when you started? Was your intentions to make it and do the art? Or was your intentions just to make it
at whatever cost?
Exactly, and that's the thing. If you don't make it and you still do it for the art and for the love of it, then it is a fulfilling thing. Maybe you didn't go as far as that you wanted it to, but it went. But either way, look, the thing is the art versus ego is very important because you got to understand out there. It's like a lot of artists nowadays have the wrong mindset. They're not willing to get out there and work for what they want, but they want all the success and all the benefits of somebody that did work. And then when they see somebody that they never heard before and they see him coming up and handling their business and getting out there, they wonder and they ask themselves, why am I not like that? And it's probably because when it all stems down to it, it's probably a little bit of ego and a little bit of your work ethic. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that work ethic. You can't be above getting your hands dirty in anything that you do. You know what I mean? The best, and whether you fucking are in a fucking gang or you work at Tesla or whatever, that the best fucking leaders are the ones that are right next to you, getting their fucking hands dirty and handling their goddamn business. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what kind of person are you and how do you take it? And I just wanted to before I go any further, I wanted to make sure that I say that though too, because like I said, I haven't always been the person that has seen that far ahead, but I know that you have. And I wanted to let you know and tell you that because when it came to the guy has always been somebody that I would talk to about things, topics, ideas, and he's always had the frame of mind where he's seen the bigger picture and seen farther down the road. And coming from where I was coming from at the times and living how I was living, it's like I couldn't see down farther, at least not down a week or not down a month. I was living for the moment. And I feel like in life, you got to be able to do both. You got to live for the moment and enjoy it, but you also got to be able to throw some stones down the road a little farther because you never know. Hey, if I don't get there, fuck it. But if I do, I prepared for it.
Exactly. Don't never hesitate on your situations. If you hesitate, you could lose out on a big opportunity. Exactly. That's just a life lesson from me to you. That's my other PSA.
And real talk, like for you, like you've always been somebody that's seen the bigger picture, seen farther. So you would tell me stuff, and sometimes I would listen, and a lot of times I fucking wouldn't listen. Yeah. But when it comes to situations like that, what makes you think, or what how do you get to that point where you're like, yo, I'm like, I see the bigger picture, or I see this, or like what do you think gives you that ability?
I have no idea.
I think it's like from the gods, like from
some to an extent. I don't know. I mean, 80s babies. I like to go and to throw that as the reason why. But ultimately, I always like to think of this way, you know, every action has a positive and negative reaction, you know. For every, think of any game, any kind of sport, there's a winner, but there's also a loser too, right? Yeah. So in order for that person to win, someone else has to lose, you know. There's always a reaction, positive, negative to whatever happens, you know. It just depends on what perspective you're looking at it from. So I try to take the things from every perspective for the most part. If my situation, if somebody's coming to me for answers, I put myself in their perspective first and try to think of it with my knowledge.
And see, that's anti-ego.
Oh,
because if it's ego, it's like, I don't know, it's all about me. Fuck what he's going through, or like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't get paid to have an ego for the most part. You know, I get paid to find. My thing is this way: I like to find the easiest solution to get to whatever we want to get to, whatever the situation may be.
What's the straightest line to where we're?
Yeah. You know, some people. My brother kind of told me, he's all, hey, it's kind of like, you know, if you want to find the right answer to something to get it done, ask a lazy person to try to, you know, present them with a problem. And not that I'm like lazy, but you know, to an extent. You know, I like to use my brain power for other things rather than solving problems all day long. So I'll try to find the easiest solution that makes most sense for the circumstances and resources we have.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, for the most part, ultimately, I don't try to put myself in any other position other than let's solve the issue at hand, and you know, let's not let other things factor in and get in the way of our victory on this thing.
I could dig it, man. No Invite Podcast, yeah, art versus ego. I want to know where you guys weigh in on the whole situation, and I want to know, like, we were talking earlier too about it kind of leads into this and it kind of don't. But you said that somebody else a long time ago seen that same quality in you as far as like being able to see the bigger picture, being able to see down the road, being able to see things before they develop, and understanding where they could lead to. Yeah.
I was kind of privy for the most part. I wouldn't say that I was really, you know, blessed as far as my school and upbringing, but you know, my last, you know, stint in public school had me in a magnet school where one of my courses was medical ethics, which didn't have anything to do with my, you know, computer science major at all whatsoever, you know. But I took it and it was part of the curriculum, and I mean, I've never had anything ever challenge me to my thinking as far as, you know, how life goes, because it didn't have anything to do with any kind of math. Nothing else came to play. It was all had to do with, you know, our morals, our religion, our laws, how all that plays together and to create the society that we have right now. And of course, you can't have a society without people. So ultimately, it has to do with people.
And dealing with people.
Yeah, dealing with people. But, you know, it brought up some very interesting questions, including this messed up question he brought to us in the very, very beginning, which, you know, is there a right or wrong answer? And, you know, if you'd like, I'll go ahead and present you with the question, too.
Yeah, hit me with it, because you told me earlier and it kind of stumped me, so I want to give it a try.
Let's say there's...
What's the question that they hit you with in the beginning of the course?
It's steps. It's steps, you know. Let's say I've got some people who I think are smart people, and they've had no answer for this question either in some cases, you know. But I mean, hey, you don't have to be smart to have an answer either, you know. It all depends on where you are and where
exactly, and that's what separates, once again, like art from ego. Like the bigger picture is to learn something, and the beauty of getting a different perspective, as opposed to like, I don't want to say nothing because if I'm wrong, then fuck everybody and I'm mad now, you know, I'm stupid.
Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. Exactly. And even then, like I said, if any listeners are out there listening to this, it might, you know, make them really rethink their whole situation on things too. You know, like I said, it's not one of those things that really rack your brain, like this is going to change your life. No, it won't. And ultimately, it depends, you know, how you take it. But say, for instance, what makes someone human? This is the first question he asked us on the very first day, you know. What makes someone human? So he gave us an example. I think I remember her name. Her name was Terry Shivo. You know, she was a patient who had basically been deemed brain dead, but they were keeping her alive by respirators and, you know, all sorts of other, you know, basically, you know,
life-saving devices.
Yeah, exactly. You know, whatever they could to kind of keep her alive, you know, feeding her through a tube. But she had no brain activity or anything whatsoever, you know. So the question he posed to us is, hey, is this woman human? Right? So, of course, some of us answered yes. Right? Of course, all of us answered yes, because she had a name, she looked human, she had the shape of a human, everything else, right? Mm-hmm. So we're like, yeah, of course she's human. So then he kind of followed up with a question like, well, why? She's like, she has no personality, she's not conscious, she's not reacting to everything. You still believe she's human? Okay, Cool, right? He's moved on to the next question, which was, now we have another end of the spectrum, right? Over here in this UC, I forgot which college, whatever, you know, but they're doing experimentation, and they're going ahead and they're growing a human heart inside this pig, right? So now this pig, which, you know, is by all intents and purposes, by the way we look at it, is a pig, but now has a human heart and thus has human DNA. Is this pig human? And of course, our argument would be that, well, in most cases, most people would be like, well, no, the pig's not human. It's a damn pig, you know? No, it's not. But
dirty ass pig.
Yeah, but think about it this way: the pig has feelings. The pig has brain activity. The pig can learn. What makes it any less human than Miss Terry Schiavo? You know, Mrs. Terry Schiavo. You know, rest in peace, Miss Terry Schiavo. No disrespect at all in this equation, but you know, and that kind of makes you think, like, what the hell really does make human? You know, if we go back to, like, you know, the movies back in Short Circuit, you know, where we had a robot who believed he was alive. Yeah. What makes something alive? A consciousness? You know, a soul? Well, what has a soul and what doesn't? So, like I said, this question has stumped many a smart person ever. I mean, honestly, I didn't have a good answer when it came to it at first. You know, I would say to an extent, maybe the truth be told, that maybe both of them are. You know, as far as what my interpretation, but to an extent, someone else's interpretation may be like neither of them are, you know, at all, because neither of them can contribute to society more so. And in fact, if anything, maybe to an extent, the pig can contribute more to society than she can, because the pig's actually advancing medical technology. And that's something that we never brought up ever in the class, but that's something that just comes to mind right now, saying what I'm saying. So, like I said, this, you know, it makes you think, and even to some 20 years, no, more than 20 years later, I'm over having different thoughts on the question.
It's one of those questions that are like still evolving with you as you go along in life. Yeah. And it's true. And you know, I don't have a clear-cut answer. I'll be the first to tell you I don't have a clear-cut answer, because at the same time, you're right. Pigs have feelings, pig has emotions, pig has fears, and all the things that you would think that make somebody human. But I mean, I don't have, as far as a medical term or whatever for it, or any kind of like anything that, because it's hard. Like you said, like the lady, she's alive. She's not there. Obviously, she doesn't know anything or whatever wherever she's at. But I mean, yeah, I mean, at that, it's a real slippery slope when it comes to that, because
and for any stragglers on that question of whether the pig is human or not, you know, from records, from stuff I've read over the years, internet and not internet, you know, cannibalistic tribes have said that, you know, pork has the most human-like tasting meat of all the meats out there. So, you know, take that for you know. You know what, and you know what, they also do that when they do ballistic tests and things like that as well. As they've said that before, that it has the most, like forged in fire.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what's crazy is because, and let's just to get our, you know, get this out there, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, obviously, cannibalism is obviously a very what do you call that, taboo subject, and it's obviously a very strong, you know, the way society looks at it is very strong, you know what I'm saying? But also think about it like this, is that there's a lot of big parts of society that look at pigs and eating pork like it's a sin and it's crazy and it's damaging and it's bad and all these other things.
Like goes to, you know, people's religious of not eating the hoofed, those with hoofed feet, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean, you know, everything's own. That's a whole other can of worms to open up.
Exactly.
I'm not ready to open up right now, to be honest, because I don't know anything.
Yeah, and I'm not well versed like that neither. But that is an interesting perspective, because, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, what does make us human? What does make us different? I mean, we all feel, we all see things. We all, I would say, all animals, because there's been times and times again you could see, and it's been proven that animals have feelings and spirits and souls or whatever. I mean, we can't say without doubt, but I mean, just by being somebody that has one, you could tell that to the fucking PETA and all that shit and beat your ass. They'll be mad at your ass for sure. But look, with that being said, art versus ego, make sure that you guys are doing it for the art. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to have belief, supreme confidence in yourself, but do not let your ego block your blessings. Do not let your ego keep you from growing. Do not let your ego keep you from making decisions that could actually help you. Now, there's always and when it comes to life, my philosophy is that I enjoy life, but I also enjoy a good, healthy dose of paranoia. You dig what I'm saying? So,
shout out to Wesley Willis. If anybody goes and Googles that one, knows who the fuck that is. They'll be like, what the fuck am I listening to? But hey, there goes art versus ego right there.
Exactly. And I'm never too good or too above learning something from somebody. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm fucking perfect by any means. We're not looking for perfection on the No Invite podcast. We know that y'all are human, and we know that y'all are dealing with the most out there, and everybody's circumstance is different. We just ask that you do your best to make sure that you make the best decisions, you know what I'm saying, possible. You don't hurt yourself or anybody, and as long as you're living life like that, there ain't nothing that you can't do, you know what I'm saying? Don't hurt yourself or don't hurt anyone else. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and in the motherfucking podcast right there, we got real philosophical on y'all, and that was because we want to make sure that you guys are doing more than just thinking about the here and now, you know what I'm saying? Life is deeper.
Leave us to our thoughts.
Exactly. See what happens when we drink half a bottle of tequila and shots and fucking spoke a little tweet and shit, you know what I'm saying? But it's the No Invite Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at no_invite_podcast. You could also get our YouTube channel and subscribe to it, please, at RiBirth Media Films. That's RiBirth Media Films with a Z. We got more exclusive content we're gonna drop on there. I still got the vlog episodes that we're going to post up on the channel, so please follow that if you want to keep up on us and see what we got going on. We got a couple dope vlogs. We got also some dope interviews from some legendary artists, you know, some Def Jam signed artists, some unreleased material that I haven't released yet. I got to edit and I'll drop, but it's timeless art. Of course, we're talking about shit that's very pertinent and relevant now. You could also go to any one of your favorite podcasting platforms and rate and review our podcast. That helps us a lot. It helps us with ranking. It helps our ego, you know what I mean, and lets us know that, you know, we're exactly who the fuck we think we are when we think we are them people. You know what I'm saying? But more importantly, it helps this podcast get spread the word to more like-minded individuals as yourselves.
No. Give us a pat on the back. Keep going, right?
I mean, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. You feel me? Just make sure, you know what I'm saying, you're scratching it because you want to itch. You want to scratch my itch and you're not trying to fucking kill me or nothing.
Scratch that like button and we'll go ahead and scratch the topics you like.
I mean, I'm saying, it's all reciprocation, man.
Yeah.
The people will always dictate what the people want, you know. That's why the people are always going to be misinformed and divided, because they know once the people are all together, then the people run the show. See, we're the big people. We're just the gentle giants. We don't know that how big and
for
powerful
better or for
we are.
worse, the divide and conquer does work.
It does work, and it's a proven scientific thing.
Whether using a government masses or to your own kids.
Exactly. To lead the resurgence, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not after to go ahead and just, pull the wool over everything. Bring the knowledge. You can use it too to your advantage. I don't care.
Basically, what he's saying, little kids is bad as fuck.
Sometimes they are.
And
remember when you was a kid?
Anybody that's 4 foot and lower is the devil.
You don't tell your kids about when you was a kid. You don't tell them the stuff you were doing, but you know what you were doing, and you see what they're doing.
Exactly.
So you hope to God and pray that they never find out.
Exactly. And when you see them doing bullshit, so you're supposed to call them out before because you know what the bullshit is.
Exactly.
That's why you're a parent, god damn it.
Yeah.
Anyways, No Invite Podcast, keep it saturated, we out.